Good morning. Looks like I actually forgot to turn off the music for the intro, but whatever. Professional. How's it going, Vicenzo? Morning. Been zocking. So today I'm going to review a bunch of Omaha high-low stuff. From yesterday, did a tournament which I did not cash in, and a bunch of cash game hands. So this is going to be the tournament part. So looks like this is decent ways into it. So yeah, so this guy was raising, stealing a lot, and I want to know if I should be 3-betting with this weekend. I suspect I can 3-bet here. So I have 3 diamonds, 3 hearts, queen diamonds, 6 spades, and he has probably 80%, top 80% of hands or something. Maybe even more than that. Yeah, it looks like he raises 100% actually. In the cutoff and button, 6 out of 6. So we'll just give him a purely random hand. Interesting. Surely this has to be a re-raise. Wow, not even. Against 100% of hands, this hand doesn't even do that well. Interesting. This is a pretty trashy hand, I guess. Spitting at the screen. Alright, well. Next hand. Probably gonna be a similar thing, yeah. So now, same thing except I have queen, queen, 6, 6. Same idea, it's just not that good. Queen 6, 6. No low possibility. I'm not sure if this is a post-flop or pre-flop situation, but I'll check pre-flop as well. So it looks like he's raising first in. Half his hands. This is actually middle position now, so 30%. %. So 55-45 roughly, so that's good. Looks like maybe this was a post-flop hand I wanted to review, so he would never fold pre-flop, and then on the flop I miss almost entirely. And there's no low, backdoor low possibility only. Still a coin flip, and I have position, so I should be c-betting. Interesting. So I did that wrong, and then he checks deuce of clubs. Probably helps since I have a low draw now. Yeah. So I could bet here, but I didn't. So it's probably a standard kind of like fix them and hold them. You just c-bet, flop turn. In most cases. And then at the end I couldn't fold because I had a low. I think I scooped here because he had a worse low and he had no high and I had a pair of fours. I guess we can plug in his exact hand for fun. So pre-flop. check the next hand while we wait. So pre-flop I was my 54% favorite. On the flop, I was a 67% favorite. Turn 86%, wow. Giving him free cards. Okay, last hand I had marked for the tournament. So yeah, I was pretty sure I should 3-bet here, but decided pretty quickly. So I want to plug them in and see if it actually is a 3-bet. We'll ignore the hands behind us. So the initial raiser, problem was this was a new table, so most players were unknown to me. So it's going to be really hard to give any kind of normal range or correct range. Just give him like 25% for the initial raiser, and then the 3-better should not be more than like 10%, but even that's a very rough guess. It's probably like 5% really. Let's give him like 8. And how's ace 4 queen doing against that? So we actually are doing good. Alright, well, in that case, good to go. What if we gave like 20% and 5%? It's probably not going to make a big difference. Top 20% to this guy. And then top 5% to this guy. Still more than our fair share, so yeah. Looks like no matter what they're doing here, even if this guy's pretty tight and is only raising 10% maybe. Yeah, aces are just pretty good in an all-in situation. Alright, so that's it for the tournament hands that I had marked. Let's check the cash game now. Okay. So first hand here, and early position, limp, get raised, bunch of people call, so I think we can re-raise here. Yeah, I mean this guy's raising 29% of hands, surely, but we'll plug in ranges and make sure. So initial raiser's probably raising like 30%-ish. Caller is probably playing 50%. Maybe 40%. And then the second caller is probably playing like 60%. Yeah. 55. So let's see how we're doing. Really? Holy shit. Looks like I'm overvaluing mediocre ace deuce hands. Because I would always feel like this would be a limpy raise, but it's not even close. I mean, it's not close. It's close to a limpy raise, being plus CV, but barely, and I'm out of position and whatnot. So I've been overvaluing a hand like this. Should the ace deuces. It's capped. Flop the nut low draw and an open ender. Open-ended draw, that is. Should probably check raise the field here, but I bet. So let's see on this flop how I'm doing against their full ranges. So I am indeed getting good value. Definitely should have check raised. Betting also works. I think I expected him to raise me here and thin the field. And then here I blank completely. So let's say they play their full range to the turn. Let's see what my equity is. Yeah, it's not that good. So checking and calling is better. Especially because he could be waiting till the turn to raise. That's really bad if he does. The Padrino icon emote. So check call here is simple. And then river blanks again, check fold easy. So next hand. This is a much better ace deuce, I believe, surely. So goes limp, raise, easy call. Calls around. Now we'll flop the nut low. So we have a 7-5, 3, 2, 1 low. And we have top and bottom pair ace 5. So this seems amazing. We raise. Gets re-raised, we cap. So 4 ways this should be good. The turn comes a really bad card though. Counterfeits are low. So we still have the same 7, 5, 3, 2, 1 low, but other people can get like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1s and things like that. So it's a really bad card. And it completes a flush. And the wheel, which is something you always have to watch out for. So all we have now is 3 pair. So basically 3 cards that can make us a full house. So like 6 outs for the high, and the low, our low is really bad now, isn't it? I believe so. 5, 7, 5, 3, 2, 1. Like the best low right now is deuce 4. The second best low is deuce 6, and then 4, 6, and then what I have. So my low is terrible, and my high is not even very good, so I should probably just be folding here, to be honest. Unless I have odds to draw to a full house. So if I'm only drawing for the high, which is most likely the case, I'm getting half the odds that I'm getting here, so I'm getting 7 to 1 roughly. And I have 6 outs. So I am actually getting odds to draw to a full house here. Interesting. Because I have 3 different pairs that can fill up. Although, I mean, that's assuming that my full house would even be good. Like, is 3s full of aces really going to be the best full house here? So most likely it's a fold, but let's see what people had. Nice, they all call, so we'll see if our full house would have been good on the river. So this guy has just a flush, regular flush, plus the nut low. This guy had just garbage. I mean, he has the nut low. Garbage for the high, I mean. And then this guy, yes, nobody really had a good high, like as in a set. This guy's a flush. Looks like he scoops it. This guy's a straight, and had no full house draws. So if we did hit the full house, we would have won the high. Next hand, ace, ace, 10, 7. What? No, I was saying you're using the emote that Padrino uses, that spaceman or whatever it is. What? So here we have ace, ace, 10, 7. So basically aces. Oh, which hand? This one? What part of the hand are you asking about? On the flop, I flop 2 pair, aces and 5s. Yeah, I ignore you too then. Return the favor. Don't ban. Unmodded, unbanned, unfriended, exiled. Yeah, I don't know what you're asking about, Kenzo. Turn, I hit another pair. So basically, I have 3 pairs. I mean, I only have 2 pairs for the high, but I have 3 different pairs that can give me a full house. So like, if any ace comes on the river, I have a full house of aces over 5s with these 2 cards. If a 5 comes on the river, I have a full house 5s full of aces. And if a 3 comes on the river, I have a full house 3s full of aces as my best hand. Yeah, there's a lot of luck in poker. I don't know that there was bad luck. The bad luck was the turn. Because like on the flop, my hand is amazing. I have the best possible low and a really pretty good high. And then on the turn, it's awful. Because now flushes beat me and my low is really bad. So this was a really bad, unlucky turn, yeah. It counterfeit my hand because my hand was 3 deuce, right? But then the 3 comes, so now anybody can get... I mean, other people can get a low more easily now. Like the deuce 4 is amazing. That's what this guy had, the got a bingo guy. So when you get counterfeit, it sucks for sure. Yeah. And then yeah, at this point I'm only drawing to the full house because there's almost no way I could win the low. And I didn't have the right odds and didn't hit the full house, which is normal. I mean, I didn't have that high of a chance of it happening, like 16% chance or something. But I had the right odds to call. Okay, so next hand I have just aces. So I raise to thin the field, try and play with the least possible people, because the hand plays well short-handed. And we are heads up 1-on-1, but he re-raises us. I doubt it's worth re-raising again, so... but I did. That's interesting. It's a new player, so I didn't really know anything about him. Maybe I had just seen something from him to re-raise here. I'm curious to plug in just maybe a random or a typical range that I would expect. So if I'm thinking the guy's raising like top 10% of hands, how am I doing against that? So I'm actually ahead of top 10%. So it looks like I can actually re-raise against pretty tight raisers. Let's say he's re-raising 5%, the top 5% of hands. I'm still ahead of him by quite a lot. So aces heads up are really good. That's the moral of the story here. Even in high-low, and where my low isn't that good, ace 7 is not a great low draw. Let's say he's re-raising only top 2%. So yeah, it doesn't matter. This hand is it's kind of weird. The better range, or the tighter range he's raising, the better my odds are. I guess it just dominates the better hands. Yeah, in any case, you can cap against any hand, basically. Looks like. And then he donks into me. I have a mediocre low draw and aces for the high. Let's say he's raising 5% or so. Let's see how we're doing on the flop here. 3 heart, deuce club, queen spades. We're barely ahead, or like a coin flip, 50-50. So any play probably is all the same, although because we're in position we can probably just go ahead and raise. And play at future streets in position. I just called though. Turn is really nice. So now I have a flush draw. I don't know that he would actually bet 100% of his range to here though. He might check on the flop with a significant portion of his range, so we're probably not a coin flip against his range, so actually calling the flop makes sense. And 3 clubs on the turn. When are you guys going to compete in Tetris? Duo stream? Nice. There's just a good site for that, I forget what it's called though, that I saw the Real Dill playing on. She plays with her viewers. But I've only seen Javard play the Game Boy version. I think that's what he. I don't know if he plays any other Tetrises. So on the turn against his whole range, I'm 61%. But I mean, again, he's probably not betting his whole range here. You saw that a few times on her stream, yes, or his stream. So I call and then river the flush. No low possible. Raise seems good. And he calls. So let's see again with his exact hand how we were doing. I like Tetris. I don't mind it. I haven't played it in a long time, and it's not on my to-do list or anything, but I would consider it. Pre-flop? Sure, so let's see pre-flop, just for fun. Paige, you said to play with friends, right? Play any Tetris, yeah, if it isn't terrible. Nice. We could do some cross-stream Tetris battles. So 56% against his exact hand, and on the flop, he's ahead by a little bit. He has a wheel draw and stuff, so he has a better low draw and a wheel draw, so that's fine. And the turn we go way ahead. Interesting. I mean, against his exact hand, that is. Tetris battle. The old Nintendo Tetris is great. Yeah, that's probably my favorite, I would say. It's actually possible to make bad Tetris games. Yeah. Oh yeah? A recent one even? I definitely have seen bad Tetris games for sure, but interesting that they pulled off a bad one recently. You'd think that they'd get that shit down to a science by now, especially a big company. I don't know why I marked this hand. Yeah, I guess I'm wondering how good is this hand? King 9-9. Just against a bunch of random hands, basically. So should I be racing? So I do have better than average equity, it looks like. It had slowdown, bad frame rate, layers and layers of bad special effects, controls are not responsive. Jesus Christ, yeah. The most important thing is the controls have to be super responsive. But yeah, there's other things, clearly, crazy. I think I put in too many hands here, it's like slowing to a crawl. Just do like a few opponents, it's not going to make a big difference. So it's barely better than average hand, but it is better than average, so I could raise. So here in the big blind it gets raised, called. So I'm curious to see if I should even be re-raising here, because I'm sure I did at the time, but it might not be correct. It probably is. I mean, I'm double suited, so surely it's correct. So the first guy probably is raising. Hard to say. He's raised 2 out of 4 hands, but we'll give him 30% or something. 26, fine. This guy calls donkey. I don't think I have any hands on him yet. Typical person would be 50%. And then this guy's top 60 minus top 2%. So let's see how we're doing here. So 32% equity, pretty good for 4 ways. So definitely re-raising. Then on the flop top set. How much does it cost that game? Probably 60 bucks or something stupid. Maybe not, 20 bucks. Just got 2 Scar Symmetry in the mail. Oh man. I don't know what the big deal is with Scar Symmetry. Maybe I need to study them more or something. I think they're just probably not my genre exactly. Like metalcore or something. Mellow death metal, right? So 29-30% equity here on the flop now. Amazing flop. I have the nut low, ace deuce, and I have top set. So strong. So let's find out how I lost this hand, shall we? Goes bet, call, call, call. Turn is not good at all. So my deuce got counterfeit. So now ace 4 got there, as in ace 4 is a better low than me. What else is a better low? That might be the only thing. I need to figure out how this works. So the only cards from 1 to 6 that are not there are ace and 4. So ace 4 is the best hand, and then after that all of the other hands would tie as long as they have an ace. So like